In Major League Soccer this week, coming face to face with your rivals. We'll head to the first Cali Clasico of 2017 as the San Jose Earthquakes hosted a resurgent LA Galaxy. It was a Texas showdown at Toyota Park for FC Dallas and the Houston Dynamo. We begin though in Seattle, where the Sounders were reacquainted with their long-standing adversaries, the Portland Timbers.
For rivalries, you need to have real emotions. This league is very young, and I think at times maybe rivalries were forced, but this is definitely one where it's real.
They give him the space, and Dempsey exploits it!
The home team has typically prevailed.
Portland have got off to a true flyer.
It's bigger than 3 points in terms of the magnitude.
I know the guys are going to be up for it, for sure. If that narrows their focus and they have a really strong performance, then good.
David Prutton and Gary Taphouse were on the call.
That's a good shot, and Gleason pushes it away, and it very nearly bounced into the net. He's not very happy with the defending in front of him. That was a good stop. First corner in by Nicolas Ladero, the Uruguayan. And into the net! What a wonderful start for the home side. It's Roldan, the man celebrating, who scored in this fixture last season. Seattle in front, inside 4 minutes. Good ball by Ridgewell for Blanco. Gets it back again here, the Argentine. Well, that was a cross which he mishit and forces Stefan Fry into a save.
Was quite clearly looking to cross it into Fernando Adi Blanco, but he's caught Stefan Fry off guard.
It does lead to Portland's second corner to be taken by Guzman. Goes short this time. Well, that's ambitious, but what a good hit and what a good save. It comes back out again to the original taker. Adi goes for the header, and eventually it's volleyed over by Valeri.
It was a wonderful strike, wasn't it? So far out. Just a little bounce in front of Stefan Fry makes it a more awkward save than perhaps you think it would be.
Better ball in this time and headed over by Ridgewell when it looked easier to score.
I can only think this comes too fast at Liam Ridgewell for him to be able to adjust his body to get the header on target.
Alonso. And, well, they're coming together between Blanco and Roldan was absolutely livid with that. And there was afters, to say the least. Adi. Quite happy to be isolated with Evans. He's got it through to Valeri. Adi, now Nagbe. Great block, they're appealing for handball. But this velocity with which he hit that shot, he'd be very unlikely to get it.
There's no chance that he'd get his arm out of the way of that.
Alonso. Dempsey. And Dempsey's shot parried away by Jake Gleason.
Wonderful instinctive save by Gleason.
Adi went to ground there, but again, rather too easily as far as the referee was concerned.
There's a question about whether this was a handball. Looks very, very clumsy from Alonso, as looks to hold off Fernando Adi.
Full time at CenturyLink Field, Seattle 1, Portland 0.
I reminded them again that they are the champions still. Nobody's taken that away from us yet, and I think that mentality showed through. It was hot, the turf was sticky, maybe the soccer wasn't going to be great, but they played like champs.
Carl Robinson's Vancouver Whitecaps make up the Cascadia Cup triumvirate. They were at home against DC United, who started Week 13 at the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings. They almost fell behind in the 10th minute, thanks to a Christian Teixeira header. The match would prove to be an altogether frustrating day for the Uruguayan, who almost scored again during the same passage of play. Barely a minute after Teixeira struck the crossbar, Tony Tchani went equally as close to scoring his first Whitecaps goal. The woodwork wasn't the only thing keeping Robinson's team at bay. DC goalkeeper Bill Hamid played his part too, like this kick save on a Tim Parker header shortly before halftime. Hamid was called upon more than once as the Whitecaps continued to pepper his goal. Again before the break, he used his leg to parry the Freddie Montero shot. Earlier in the week, Jose Ortiz was fined by the league for simulation during DC United's last match. Though replays suggested he hadn't learned his lesson here, referee Soren Stojka still awarded a penalty. In the 61st minute, Lamar Nagel gave the visitors a controversial lead. Deep into injury time, Breck Shea became the latest player to hit the woodwork for Vancouver. But just as the Whitecaps thought their luck had run out, the officials concluded that Shea had been fouled by Hamid in the process. Step forward to Teixeira to save the game in the 6th minute of added time. Or not, as it turned out. Sometimes the soccer gods don't look out for you, concluded Coach Robinson. Minnesota coach Adrian Heath had a little extra incentive as his current team played host to his former club, Orlando City, whose early season optimism has given way to a darker mood in May. A run of 5 games without a win. The Lions have struggled to score lately, and the early signs weren't encouraging here. Minnesota, on the other hand, have been lighting it up with 18 goals so far, amongst the best in the West. Christian Ramirez, who'd actually scored own goals in his last 2 games, very nearly atoned here. Orlando had a wonderful chance to make the breakthrough before halftime. Carlos Rivas beat the goalkeeper, but not the post. Bobby Shuttleworth grateful to gather up the harmless rebound. And the Minnesota stopper was busy again early in the second half. Kyle Larin, the man denied this time, frustration beginning to build in Orlando's ranks. Orlando had yet to record a shutout on the road this season, and sure enough, Minnesota seized their chance. Ramirez stayed onside and kept his cool to grab his 8th goal of the season. His coach especially grateful for this one. FC Dallas versus the Houston Dynamo, a match made in Texas. It's a rivalry Houston-born Tyler Derrick understands more than most, and the Dynamo keeper pulled off an outstanding save to stop Dallas from taking the lead in the 27th minute. The very next move saw his Dallas counterpart, Jesse Gonzalez, stake his claim for save of the day in keeping out Albert Elise. The match was fast becoming a showcase for the goalkeepers. 9 minutes before halftime, Derrick kept out an effort from Dallas striker Christian Coleman. "30 seconds later, Derrick couldn't get to Atiba Harris's header, but an offside ruling against the Dallas substitute kept the score 0-0. Though Harris was initially onside from the cross, the flick on by Matt Hedges rendered Harris offside. After the break, the odds of seeing a goal lengthened as Gonzalez made a point-blank stop from Houston's Mauro Manotas. Even so, the Dynamo left with their first road point of the season, while Dallas has now gone 4 home games without a win. To California now, and the San Jose Earthquakes, who boasted an unbeaten home record in 2017 ahead of the Cali Clasico. Their win at FC Dallas last week really announced their arrival on the scene this season. After an indifferent start, the LA Galaxy are on the rise again thanks to back-to-back road wins. A third here against their Californian rivals would taste particularly sweet. Mike Sewell is your commentator.
Back down the line for Huson. Delivers it to the far post. Wondolowski! Wondo with his 4th goal in 5 games gives San Jose the lead. Great delivery from Huson. And Wondolowski has now scored 8 goals in the Cali Clasico. Giovanni Dos Santos plays it back to Van Dam, into Ashley Cole, on to Pedro. LA Galaxy equalise. Joao Pedro with his first goal in MLS. Cole pushed it through the gap and Pedro finished it off. Van Dam with the searching ball to Diallo. Up against Sarkodie, who brings him down, and it's a penalty to the LA Galaxy. Kofi Sarkodie with the foul. Dos Santos has the chance to put the Galaxy in front, and he does. His 4th goal in as many games for Giovanni Dos Santos. Thrown into Tommy Thompson. Delivers it in. Houston! It's another goal in the first half, and Danny Houston draws San Jose level. A first MLS goal for the Dutchman. Zardis into Alessandrini. Boateng then wide to Diallo. Plenty of options in the middle. He doesn't need them because it's gone in off a San Jose defender. Diallo's cross struck Victor Bernardes, and the LA Galaxy are back in front. Alessandrini support in the middle from Dos Santos, and that will ensure that the LA Galaxy head home with all the points. Great cross from Roman Alessandrini. Crisp header from Dos Santos. The Galaxy win the Cali Clasico 4-2.
It was a tough night. You never want to give up 4 goals at home, but credit to Alessandrini and Dos Santos, they played a good game.
New to the league, but making themselves heard. Atlanta United currently have the highest average attendance in all of Major League Soccer. Next to visit Bobby Dodd Stadium is New York City FC. Stuart Robson and Dan Roebuck have the call of the match.
Now we're looking to play it forward towards Gressel on the right-hand side. There's runners inside the box. The cross, he scored. What about the finish? Amaral once again in the right place at the right time.
There's a little toe poke in behind, and here's the cutback. They've got 3 in the box. Goes to the right man. Good composure. Hits it with power. Probably goes through the goalkeeper in the end.
And they're coming again! Oh, yes! Terrific hit! Fantastic finish! And it's Villalba this time that curls into the corner. Atlanta double their advantage. Not even 20 minutes out.
And once he opens up his body, there was only one place he was going to put that, and that was bend it round Johnson into that far corner.
Gressel will chase it down. He might lose out in the foot race here to Callens, or will he? Gressel might get beyond him here, and still going forward. Could be another! Is another! Terrific hit from close range, and it's that man again. Patrick Vieira not happy, but his side are 3 down inside the opening quarter of the match.
Was there a foul there? I think the defender's got to be stronger. Callens, he's looking for the free kick. He's trying to get his body there. He's thrown his arm out to start with. I think the referee's got every right to allow play to go on. What a cutback it was, and what a good finish.
Is there an opportunity here? Wallace inside the penalty area. And then the curling effort, seen late by Can, but turned behind nonetheless.
It's a good save as well, because it bounces just in front of him.
taken this team to their hearts already. The Atlanta public have been tremendous, and the team have been good today. However, sloppy ball there, and suddenly it's the visitors that come streaming out. They need to get a few more numbers up here. Sweat has to turn back in field, but he's done well to find Wallace. Atlanta getting plays back behind the ball, whipped into the far post here. Opportunity taken, brilliantly taken as well. That is some finish. Harrison coming in on the blind side, and that is great technique to reduce the deficit with 20 minutes remaining. Neatly taken down by Villalba. Nessel wanting it. Villalba recycles here for Almiron on his left side.
By his standards, that's a poor effort.
We knew what we had to do today to kind of, to come out and be on top of them and win the game. And I think we did a very, very good job of executing that game plan and winning that battle.
Without some key players, including Sebastian Giovinco, Toronto coach Greg Vanney could test his theory that he's gathered the deepest squad in MLS history. They certainly got off to a flying start. Tosan Ricketts bundled over by Jonathan Mensah for the penalty. Victor Vasquez made it look easy from the spot. Toronto's winning streak may have ended at Red Bull Arena last week, but this is still a team in fine form. Though Columbus did give them brief cause for discomfort here when Nico Hansen struck the post. But the Reds strengthened their advantage before halftime. Ben Spencer fed the ball into Justin Morrow's path, and he emphatically did the rest. Goalkeeper Zach Steffen with no chance. The keeper might have had a different view of Toronto's third. Vasquez somehow squeezing the free kick under the wall and beyond Steffen's grasp, his second of the game. TFC looked like a lock to pick up all 3 points. The afternoon briefly took a grim turn for Toronto in general, Marco Delgado in particular. His challenge on Will Trapp didn't make for family viewing, a red card the inevitable outcome. But despite their diminished numbers, Toronto kept adding to their advantage with 2 late goals, first from Jonathan Osorio. Then, well into added time, Jordan Hamilton steered home the 5th to claim the Trillium Cup for the Reds against their inconsistent rivals, and, more importantly, extending their unbeaten streak to 8 games. Red Bull Arena was the destination for the 1,000 New England fans who'd taken the 3.5-hour bus ride to New Jersey. It was looking like a worthwhile trip inside the first 9 minutes. Trip being the appropriate word, as Damian Peronel brought down Diego Fagundes. The Red Bulls did protest, but to no avail. A shimmy or two later, Lee Nguyen was putting the Revolution into the lead. From that moment on, the Red Bulls were the dominant force, but coming up with an equalizer initially proved difficult, as Kamar Lawrence can attest. Cody Cropper doing enough to stop him from scoring his 2nd goal of the season. Cropper wouldn't be in a hurry to watch the replay of a key incident just after the break. He could be excused for not holding onto the ball the first time, but Bradley Wright Phillips was determined not to let him get away with it twice. It's the 2nd week in a row BWP has scored while facing away from goal. The Red Bulls were further rewarded for their dominance in the 74th minute. An unmarked Daniel Royer converting Lawrence's cross to put them in front. Now the home fans were celebrating. The Revs mounted a late surge, but Fagundes was denied by Luis Robles, who ensured the Red Bulls registered their first win in 5 games. Real Salt Lake came into this one at Rio Tinto Stadium aiming to protect an unbeaten record against the Philadelphia Union. The 2 goalkeepers have big reputations, and they reigned largely supreme here. Philly's Andre Blake, last year's MLS Goalkeeper of the Year, denied Joao Plata. At the other end, the league's all-time career saves record holder Nick Rimando had a little help from his friends. The crossbar had come to his rescue earlier, and after Rimando blocked Fafa Pico here, Aaron Mond raced back to clear it off the line. Close shave for RSL. 10 minutes before halftime, Philadelphia's resistance was broken. Just a pretty sequence that had Philly in a spin. Plata finishing what he started. A real beauty of a team goal. There was still time for Rimando to add to his save total, helping RSL to a welcome second win in their last 7 games, while putting an end to Philly's club record 4-game winning streak. Colorado was deeply buried at the bottom of the Western standings when Peter Vermees brought conference-leading Sporting Kansas City to town. Fittingly, it was Kansas-born defender Courtney Ford who headed Colorado into an 11th-minute lead. A memorable first MLS goal for a player who'd come through the Rapids Academy. The early setback didn't seem to affect SKC, who proceeded to dominate the game in possession and chances. Roger Espinoza, the first to get a good look at goal. Midway through the first half, Graham Zusi was given an even clearer path after Benny Feilhaber had sucked in the Colorado defense. However, the Rapids recovered well, Bobby Burling denying Zusi on the line. Colorado rarely threatened, but when they did, they almost made their few chances count. Kevin Doyle looking for his first goal in 6 weeks. Sporting KC managed no fewer than 25 shots, with Seth Sinovic going agonizingly close to equalizing in the 92nd minute. SKC's frustration culminated in Espinoza being sent off after receiving a second yellow card, as Colorado held on for only their 3rd win of the season. Sporting Kansas City still lead the way in the Western Conference, but they're looking nervously over their shoulder. Colorado had been rapidly losing ground until that win over the leaders, and the LA Galaxy are now on the right side of the red line. Toronto's thumping win against Columbus Crew SC consolidates their 5-point lead at the top of the East. Atlanta are now within a point of a playoff spot, while DC United's win in Vancouver means that Montreal replaced them at the bottom of the standings. That sweet feeling of getting one over on your rivals, or even your old employers. I'm Russ Thaler, back again next week.
This copyrighted telecast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.